time to knock out another item on that honey-do list. My wife asked me to make a planter box for her tomato plant, so I figured I'd work on some of my fine woodworking skills. I started with the legs. First off, I cut these at 23 3/4 inches, and I picked this number to utilize as much as I could from one 8-footer. I measured up 4 inches for my bottom notch and put the other at the top. Basically, my idea was to have two 2x4 bands that hold the post together. For the ease of marking, I just grabbed a piece of scrap and I used that for my unit of measurement. Just makes everything a little bit quicker and you don't have to mess around with the tape measure. After that, I took my 4 posts over to my miter saw and I set the depth to 1.5 inches so my 2x4s would sit flush with my post once it was all notched out. Once all the posts had been through the miter saw, I got some much needed practice with my chisels. I lack a little bit of patience, so my time spent with chisels has been pretty limited, and I really tried my best to get accustomed to being more gentle and spending a little bit more time in prep. Now it's time to move on to the 2x4 bands. For this, I just cut 8 identical pieces at 23 inches from long point to long point of a 45-degree angle. I put a little bit of glue on that puppy and it's ready for a few tacks to hold it in place until I can get some screws in it. I don't want to add too many screws until I get it mostly put together, just for the ease of construction. A little bit of sanding on the bands and it was time to join these together in holy matrimony.
Some kind of butterfly, baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
That looks sweet.
You're channeling wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly.
I'm back. So I almost finished this project up in one night and then I had to go because it was getting too late, and now it's been almost a week since I worked on it. So yeah, that's basically where we're at. And I was using it as a cut table for a different little project, and look what I did. I cut through it. So yeah, I think it's just time to get this thing finished up. So I'm gonna try and get back in the groove of things, get this routed out, get the rest of these panels in there, and let's do it. This was my biggest mistake of the whole project. I should have routed everything prior to screwing the bottom band together, but for some reason I thought I could make it work. This method was way harder on an already dull router bit. For a little more emphasis on my distaste for my decision here, thought I'd throw this. Well, I just severely messed that up. At this point, I'm in it too deep to try, so I just decided to continue on. I started to have a weird little love-hate relationship with this project. I felt proud of it because it was starting to come together, but I still really disliked some of the little things. As it got closer to getting done, though, my excitement about it definitely grew. When I started to put the panels in, it did exaggerate some of the damage that I did with the router, but I'm hoping the untrained eye would be likely to overlook it. To make these panels, what I did was I just put a 1/4 inch tongue
on the vertical sides of the cedar pickets. Those slid directly into my router slot. That allowed me to slap the 2x4 bend in on top of it without having to fasten the pickets. But wait, there's more! To top this thing off and give it a little bit more depth, I cut 5/4 deck boards and I used those as a top cap. I went with 23 inches from my long point to long point on these, and I glued and tacked them in until I was ready to throw some screws into it. For some reason, when I try flipping something over, I struggle to understand physics. Once the great battle of flipping the beast over was concluded, I used some more of the 5/4 decking on the bottom to give it a base. Now, I'm not sure exactly what was going on here, but it looks pretty similar to someone who's rethinking a lot of their life decisions. Anyways, back to work. I threw a little 45 chamfer on the ends to give it a little bit more pent juice because it only seemed right at this point. And that's basically it. I drilled some drain holes, threw some more screws in it, and voila, I was ready to admire this little fella. Guys, that's about all I got this time. Thanks for hanging out with me again. I'm gonna let this sweet beat show us on out. Bye.